What's up, angels? It is your girl, Adina.
Long before Nicki Minaj, Lil Kim, Trina, Foxy Brown, and Megan Thee Stallion, Adina Howard was the original bold and unapologetic artist. How many of you remember the artwork for her debut album? Even though she was photographed bent over the hood of a car, wearing vinyl over-the-knee boots, black fishnet stockings, and black micro shorts, the album cover had nothing on her liberating lyrics. She rose to fame during the New Jack Swing era of music and was one of the first female R&B performers to express exactly what she wanted from a man. Music lovers were captivated by every racy lyric. Sadly, success didn't last long. Here's what really happened to Adina Howard's career. She was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and was the eldest of 4 girls. Her dad had substance abuse issues, and after he went on a getaway to California with another woman, Adina's mom decided to leave him. Her mom moved Adina and her younger siblings to Arizona. Everything was going fine until one day in gym class. She glanced over at one of her classmates and thought he resembled a character from the movie Top Gun. Though Adina never said anything to the boy, she told Madame Noir website that he turned around and spat on her. When her mom went to the school's administrators to complain, they told her there was nothing they could do. Her mother allowed her to leave the school, and eventually their family decided to pack up and leave Arizona entirely. Years later, they moved back to Arizona, but Adina would never forget what that little boy did to her. She said it taught her that your bark has to be loud. That same message later carried over into her music and how she would navigate through her career. She had been singing for most of her life, and as a teenager, she teamed up with producer Livio Harris. She recorded her very first demo, which made its way into the hands of Mecca Dawn Records co-owner Max Gousset. She was signed to the label and released her first album, Do You Wanna Ride, in 1995. Her hit song, Freak Like Me, peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. She became the hottest R&B singer, but she wasn't ready to live her life in the public eye. She told the Electronic Urban Report that she hated being famous because she valued her privacy. She also wasn't ready for all the backlash she would receive.
So they talking bad about your girl, babies. Talking bad. Let he who's without sin cast the first stone.
In 1995, the late civil rights activist C. Dolores Tucker told the Washington Post Adina's album cover was reprehensible. But no one was going to stand in the way of her dreams and her desire to show off her hourglass figure. She headed back to the studio and teamed up with various artists, including Jamie Foxx. During that same time, she began dating Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men, who was also dating Brandy at the same time. As you can imagine, this caused a messy love triangle. Atlantic Records executive Sylvia Rhone told Adina to focus on her career and leave Wanya alone. But Adina wasn't going to let someone else dictate her life. According to her unsung episode, Wendy Williams found out about the love triangle, so she gave Adina a call. The singer reportedly bashed Sylvia and Brandy. When Sylvia found out Adina was bad-mouthing her, she canceled the release date of Adina's second album. Adina continued performing and teamed up with Warren G for his song What's Love Got to Do With It. She also ventured off into the film industry and landed a role in the movie High Frequency. Despite the tension at her label, her second album, Welcome to Fantasyland, was eventually released in 1997. The album experienced moderate success, but it was shelved by Elektra Records that same year. Adina and Sylvia Rhone had a sit-down meeting to discuss her longevity in the industry, but Adina wasn't trying to hear anything she had to say. Since Sylvia held all the power, Adina was dropped from the label. She signed with Roughtown Records and released her third album, The Second Coming. Due to a lack of promotion, the album only peaked at number 61 on Billboard. And then, after issues with her label, she was dropped from Roughtown. Next, she signed with Arsenal Records. After numerous delays, her fourth album, Private Show, was released in 2007. Adina's album went up against Beyoncé, Robin Thicke, and Keisha Cole. She managed to reach number 17 on the iTunes R&B music chart, but the album wouldn't even crack the Billboard chart. According to Billboard, a year after Private Show was released, it had only sold 4,000 copies. It was time for Adina to think of a backup plan. She enrolled in Culinary School in 2010, and she also reconnected with a man named Sherman Jordan, whom she met at LAX airport back in 1996. Adina and Sherman would continuously bump into each other at the airport. One day, he gave her his number and told her to call him if she ever felt like talking. Within that first year, they began dating, but Sherman was begging her to settle down, get married, and have children. Adina, on the other hand, never wanted to get married, nor did she want to have kids. So she and Sherman were off and on for over a decade, but they always remained best friends. In 2011, she agreed to be his wife, and they got married in a beautiful ceremony. She gained an instant family and became a stepmom to his daughter from a previous relationship. Although she vowed to never live in Arizona again, that's exactly where she and Sherman settled into their new life as husband and wife. In 2012, she graduated from Culinary School and worked her way from being a line cook at a resort to becoming a chef. But still, the stage was calling her name. After a 2013 performance, she told Vibe magazine her husband encouraged her to pursue music again. She signed with Monarchy Records, and with Sherman as her project coordinator, she released the song Switch in 2013. It was supposed to be the lead single off her fifth studio album, The Switch Up, but even Adina's official website bio doesn't confirm the album's release date. Perhaps there was a delay in its release because Adina had other things on her agenda. She once made it clear that she never wanted to have kids, but she told Urban Bridges in 2014 that she and Sherman were working on having a baby. And in 2017, she released the album Resurrection. The socially conscious lead single Blasphemy was described as an urban battle cry. Everything was starting to fall into place. She was able to approach music differently because it was her hobby instead of being her main source of income. And she even released a documentary to let her fans know more about her career. But things at home weren't going as planned. Before she could have a baby of her own, she and Sherman got divorced in 2017. They remained on good terms, and Sherman even appeared in Adina's unsung episode as her friend. They continued to live under the same roof, and Sherman described Adina as his wingman. Despite her success, Adina told the TT Torres show that she wasn't making any money off of any of her old music. On top of that, she still hadn't received a royalty check from her past albums because of the shady record contracts she had signed. Looking back on her career, she told Ebony she wished she would have remained more humble, but she also encountered a lot of people who didn't have her best interests at heart. She said the industry is full of, quote, wolves and snakes. Keep an eye out for her because she performs a handful of gigs every year. And one thing remains the same, Adina is still playing by her own rules. Let us know your thoughts on her music career, and thanks for watching Real Reality Gossip.